Camille was laughing. Something stupid, Jennifer said. She couldn't even explain what it was. But she laughed. Really laughed. The kind that makes your eyes water. It had been so long she was this happy. Red dress, good jewelry, champagne cold in her hand, somewhere in the crowd of people her billionaire husband, Caden, had invited to his foundation gala. For that one moment she felt light. Then something happened. She felt it first. Not heard, not saw. Felt, like the temperature dropped. Like the air shifted. Like something invisible moved through that ballroom and touched every single person in it at the same time. The laughing stopped. The conversation stopped. The music stopped. Everything just stopped. If this already has you hooked, tap subscribe. This story only gets worse from here. Camille looked up. Caden, her billionaire husband, standing at the top of the staircase, microphone in hand and about to say something. Black suit, no tie, 300 people already frozen below him without him saying a single word. That was always him. He never needed to announce himself. Rooms just knew. But tonight was different. The way he stood, the way his jaw was set, the way his eyes moved across that crowd and then found her, stayed. Camille's laugh was gone. She knew whatever he has to say has a needle of humiliation for her. Her hand tightened around her champagne glass, and she begged in her heart. Caden, whatever you are about to say, please. And then he said it. Joanne is carrying my Heir. Yeah, go ahead, subscribe, and like this video if that just hit you the way it hit her. The champagne glass dropped and shattered on the ground. She didn't feel it. She didn't feel anything below her neck. Just those words. Sitting in the middle of her chest like something thrown hard from close range. And then every single head in that ballroom turned. All of them. Finding her. The whispers started immediately. Oh my God, that's his wife standing right there. Did you see her face? Camille stood there. Champagne soaking into her red dress. Blood running from her palm. Body shaking so badly she could see her own hands trembling. She couldn't make it stop. Her legs felt like water. Her vision blurred at the edges. She pressed her heels into the marble. Stand, just stand. But her body was already shutting down, piece by piece, her knees threatening to go, her chest heaving, her hands shaking so violently the blood was dripping from her fingers to the marble floor. She looked like she was dying standing up. And the crowd just watched. A woman in diamonds leaned to her husband. Look at her. Pathetic. A man near the bar. Should have known she couldn't keep him. 2 women by the pillar. Wife of a respected billionaire, with no respect to her name. Someone actually laughed. A girl, young, beautiful, cruel. She looked so weak. Her friend nodded slowly, eyes moving up and down Camille like she was something small. She deserves it for being so weak. An older woman. Someone Camille had sat beside at dinner. Someone who had called her darling. This is what happens when you think a man like that actually chose you. Camille's knees buckled. She grabbed the arm of a passing waiter. Gripped it. Let go. Pressed her hand flat against her stomach, trying to find something solid. And then across the room, Joanne, white dress, shoulders back, chin up. Standing near the windows like she'd been placed there on purpose. Not hiding. Not ashamed. Glowing. Growing. Like the announcement had poured something into her that was still filling her up. Like every whisper in that room was adding to her. The women nearby were already studying her. Measuring themselves against her and stepping back. She's stunning. Can you blame him? Look at how she carries herself. Joanne's eyes moved slowly across the room, taking inventory, like it was already hers. And Caden had already handed the microphone back, already straightened his jacket, already turned. No pause. No glance toward his wife standing 30 feet away, bleeding and shaking and holding herself together with nothing. No hesitation, no flicker. He walked back into the crowd and the crowd swallowed him and he was gone. Just like that. Like she wasn't there. Like she had never been there. Camille. Jennifer. Both arms around her from behind. Fierce. Immediate. Warm. I've got you, she said in her ear. Don't fall. Not here. Don't you give them this. Camille gripped her hands. Shaking. Bleeding. Vision going white at the edges. Jen, I know. Tighter. I know. But we're walking. Right now. Jennifer's arm locked around her waist and steered her toward the corridor door, and Camille let her because her legs had stopped belonging to her, and the room was still watching, and the whispers were still burning, and somewhere behind her, Joanne was still glowing, and Caden was already somewhere in that crowd, completely untouched by any of this. The corridor door closed, and Camille's legs finally gave out. Jennifer caught her before she hit the floor. I've got you, Jennifer said again, holding all of her weight. I've got you, I've got you. Camille grabbed onto her and held on, and said nothing, because there were no words for what had just happened to her in that room. No words at all. The corridor was empty, just the two of them. Jennifer was still holding Camille's full weight, both of them leaning against the wall. The noise of the gala was muffled behind the closed door, like it was happening in another world. Camille's legs were still shaking. She couldn't stop it. "Can you walk?" Jennifer asked quietly. "I don't know. Try." She tried. One step, then another. Jennifer's arm stayed around her waist the whole time. Steady, solid, like she'd done this before, like holding Camille together was something she already knew how to do. The bathroom at the end of the corridor was empty. Jennifer locked the door, and then there was silence. Real silence. Camille looked at herself in the mirror. Red dress, ruined, champagne stains spreading across the front like something spilled and never cleaned up. Her hand wrapped in Jennifer's handkerchief, already turning dark. Eyes dry, but barely. Face drained of color. She looked like what she was. A woman the whole room had just watched fall apart. "Sit," Jennifer said. "I'm fine. Camille," she sat. On the small chair near the vanity, hands in her lap, back straight, like posture could fix any of this. Jennifer crouched in front of her and took both her hands gently. She looked up at her face with those warm, familiar eyes Camille had known for 8 years. Eyes that had seen her through everything, every hard thing, every dark night. "Talk to me," Jennifer said softly. Camille opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "He didn't look back," she said. Jennifer's jaw tightened. "I know. Not once. He just walked away. Like I wasn't—" Her voice thinned. She pulled it back. "Like I was nobody. You are not nobody. Then why—" "Because he's a coward," Jennifer said, firm and certain. "A powerful coward. And what he did tonight was unforgivable." Camille looked at her. There was something about the way Jennifer said it. Too certain, too fast, like the words were already prepared. She pushed the thought away immediately. This was Jennifer. 8 years. The person who showed up every single time without being asked. The person who was here right now on a bathroom floor holding her bleeding hand while the rest of the world laughed at her. She pushed it away. "What do I do?" Camille whispered. Jennifer squeezed her hands. "Tonight," she said. "Nothing. Tonight you breathe." Camille nodded and looked back at the mirror. At the woman in the ruined red dress who had been laughing 20 minutes ago. Her phone buzzed. Once, unknown number, she almost ignored it. Something made her look. One line, no name. She was paid to say that child is his. Ask Jennifer who made the introduction. Wait, do you trust Jennifer at this point? Tell me in the comments, yes or no. And don't forget to subscribe. Camille stared at the screen. Read it again. The bathroom felt very still suddenly. Very small. She looked up slowly. Jennifer was watching her. Warm, patient, concerned. "Who is it?" Jennifer asked. Camille turned the phone face down, slowly, carefully, like she was learning to be careful for the first time. "Nobody," she said quietly. "Wrong number." Jennifer nodded. She looked back down at Camille's hand and started unwrapping the makeshift bandage gently, checking the cut. Focused, tender. Camille sat very still, phone face down in her lap, heart beating very loud. Asked Jennifer who made the introduction. She looked at the top of Jennifer's head as she tended to her hand. This woman. 8 years, every hard thing. Asked Jennifer. She looked away, swallowed, said nothing. Jennifer finished wrapping Camille's hand and stood up. "We should go back out." Camille blinked at her. "What?" "If we disappear now, the press will write whatever they want." Jennifer extended her hand. 10 minutes. Then we leave. On our terms. Camille stared at her hand for a moment before taking it. They walked back into the ballroom together. The music had resumed. Laughter returned. Champagne glasses clinked as if nothing had happened. Nearly 300 people pretending they hadn't just witnessed a public execution of a marriage. But Camille felt it. The stares. Everywhere. She kept her chin up. Her shoulders straight. Jennifer's hand steady in hers as they moved forward. They had barely taken a few steps when she heard his voice. Low, controlled, calm. "Gerald, I want the Singapore numbers on my desk before tomorrow morning." Camille turned instinctively. Caden stood a few feet away, phone pressed to his ear, one hand in his pocket. He moved through the crowd with effortless authority, like the air shifted to accommodate him. He saw her. There was no doubt about that. His eyes met hers briefly. 1 second. Then he looked away, back to his call, back to business, back to whatever mattered more than his wife standing in front of him with a bandaged hand and a ruined dress. He walked past her, close enough that she felt the air move. He didn't slow down, didn't nod, didn't acknowledge her. Not even the courtesy you give a stranger in a crowded room. Nothing. Jennifer's grip tightened around her fingers. "Keep walking," she murmured. Camille forced her feet to move, but something inside her had shifted. It wasn't just pain anymore. It was something sharper, quieter, angrier. They were nearing the exit when Camille saw Joanne. She was no longer standing by the windows. She had moved closer to the corridor, as if she had been waiting. Their eyes met. Camille stopped. Joanne hesitated for only a second before walking toward her. Jennifer stiffened. "Camille," but Joanne was already in front of them. Up close she was even more composed. The white dress fit her perfectly. Her expression wasn't smug. It was controlled. "Mrs. Cross," Joanne said softly. The name hit harder than Camille expected. "I didn't want it announced like that," Joanne continued. "Tonight, the way it happened, that wasn't my decision." Camille looked at her carefully. Up close, she noticed something she hadn't before. Comfort. Joanne didn't look like someone who had just stepped into this world. She looked like someone who already belonged in it. "Whatever you're about to say," Camille replied quietly. "Don't." Joanne closed her mouth. There was no argument. No apology. Just a brief silence that said more than either of them could. Camille held her gaze long enough to understand something unsettling. Joanne knew that building. The way she stood. The way her eyes moved around the room. The ease in her posture. This wasn't new territory for her. "Let's go," Jennifer said gently, placing a hand on Camille's arm. Camille allowed herself to be led away, but she looked back once. Joanne was still watching her, and the expression on her face wasn't victory, it was pity. Outside, the night air was cold. The gala noise faded behind heavy doors. Camille stopped at the top of the steps and inhaled deeply for the first time since the glass had shattered. "She's been there before," she said quietly. Jennifer turned to her. "What?" "Joanne. She knows that building. She's been there before." Jennifer hesitated. "You don't know that. I do." The certainty in Camille's voice surprised even her. Jennifer studied her for a moment before speaking again. "Whatever he's done," she said carefully, "you are not alone in this. You never have been. Not once in 8 years." Camille looked at her. 8 years of friendship, of loyalty, of shared history. "I know," she said softly, and she meant it. Her phone felt heavy inside her clutch. She was paid to say that child is his. Ask Jennifer who made the introduction. The message replayed in her mind. She looked at Jennifer's face again. Open. Concerned. Familiar? She pushed the thought away. Got into the car, and as the door shut and the driver pulled away from the curb, Camille realized something important. The humiliation was no longer the worst part of the night. The worst part was the quiet. When she got home, she saw the staffs and guards, but she ignored their greetings and ran towards the east wing where she stays, where Caden believes she belongs to. The apartment was dark. Camille didn't turn the lights on. She stood in the entrance in her ruined red dress and let the silence settle around her like something physical. Like it had weight, like it was pressing gently on her shoulders and she was letting it. Caden's cologne was still in the air. Faint, almost gone. She noticed it the way you notice something for the last time without knowing it's the last time. She set her clutch on the table by the door, took her heels off, walked to the kitchen in bare feet and poured a glass of water and stood at the counter and drank it slowly. No tears, no shaking. The shaking had stopped somewhere between the car and the front door, and she didn't know exactly when, but it was gone now, and what had replaced it was something quieter, something still. She set the glass down, looked at the kitchen. Their kitchen, 2 years of mornings in this kitchen, coffee and newspapers and Caden's particular silence that she had learned to read like a language. His silence when he was thinking. His silence when he was watching her. His silence when something was wrong that he wasn't ready to say yet. She'd spent 2 years learning his silences and missed everything else. She picked up her phone, opened the unknown number, read the first message again. She was paid to say that child is his. Ask Jennifer who made the introduction. Then the second one that had come while she was in the car. She hadn't opened it until now. She opened it now. It wasn't words this time. It was a screenshot. A bank transfer. Clean. Formal. Time-stamped. The date, 7 months ago. The amount, substantial enough to make Camille's eyes stop moving for a moment. The recipient name, Joanne Asiwe. And the account it came from, Camille read it twice. 3 times. A company name she didn't recognize, but below it in small text, a registration number. And next to the registration number, a director's name. One name, J. Okafor. Camille set the phone down on the counter. Stood very still. J. Okafor? Jennifer Okafor? She picked the phone back up, looked at the name again, made sure she was reading it correctly, made sure her eyes weren't doing something strange in the low light of the kitchen. J. Okafor. She set it down again, went to the window, looked out at the city. All those lights, all those lives happening simultaneously behind all those windows. People fighting, people sleeping, people laughing at something stupid someone said. People completely unbothered by the fact that Camille Cross was standing in her kitchen at midnight, having just discovered that the woman who held her while she bled tonight had been paying another woman for 7 months. She stood at that window for a long time, not crying, not shaking, just looking and thinking, replaying, Jennifer showing up at exactly the right moment in that ballroom. Before Camille had even processed what happened, like she was already positioned, already ready. Jennifer steering her away from the crowd before anyone could see how bad it was. Jennifer's hands on her face. Look at me, Jennifer in the bathroom, calm, efficient, first aid kit found immediately, words ready immediately. The right words, always the right words. What people do to you says everything about them, and nothing about you. 8 years of the right words, 8 years of perfect timing, 8 years of being exactly what Camille needed exactly when she needed it. She had thought that was love. She was only now considering another explanation. She picked up her phone, opened Jennifer's contact, typed, "Thank you for tonight. I don't know what I would have done without you." She read it back once, sent it, put the phone face down on the counter, and went to bed. Not because she was tired, because she had decided something. She didn't know the full shape of it yet. Didn't know every edge and corner. But the decision itself was there. Solid, quiet, sitting in the center of her chest like something that had always been there and had simply been waiting for her to find it. She was not going to cry anymore. She was not going to shake. She was not going to give one more person in her life the satisfaction of watching her fall apart. She lay in the dark with her eyes open, Caden's side of the bed empty beside her. She looked at the ceiling, and for the first time since that glass shattered, she started thinking clearly. Jennifer replied at 12:43 a.m., "Always. You never have to thank me. Sleep. I'll come by tomorrow. I love you." Camille read it. "Set the phone down. I love you." She used to know exactly what those words meant coming from Jennifer. Now she held them up to the light in her mind and turned them slowly, looking for the seams. Finding them. She didn't sleep until 3 a.m., and when she did, she dreamed of nothing, which was fine. She needed the rest. She had work to do. The next day came like flash, morning light straining through her window, but that wasn't what woke up. It was the knock on the door. Jennifer knocked twice. Same rhythm she always used. Not too loud, not too soft, the knock of a woman who knew she was welcome, who had always been welcome. Camille opened the door. Jennifer stood there with 2 coffee cups from the place 2 streets down that Camille loved. Coat still on. Eyes already reading her face the way they always did. "You didn't sleep," Jennifer said. "I slept," Camille said. Jennifer looked at her for one more second, then came inside. She moved through the apartment the way she always moved through it. Comfortable, familiar. Setting the coffees on the counter, coat on the hook by the door. The second hook, always the second hook. 8 years of the second hook. Camille watched her. Not obviously, just watched. The way she touched the counter, the way her eyes moved around the kitchen quickly before settling, the way she opened the cabinet for plates without asking or thinking. Like she lived here. She had always moved like she lived here. Camille had always found it comforting. She was only now finding it interesting. "Have you eaten?" Jennifer asked. "Not yet." "Sit." Camille sat at the kitchen island. Watched Jennifer open the refrigerator, take out eggs, move to the stove. All of it easy. Natural. The movements of a woman completely at home in a space that wasn't hers. "Caden hasn't called," Jennifer said. "Not a question." "He called once," Camille said. "Yesterday? Did you answer?" "No." Jennifer nodded. "Cracked an egg." "Good," she said. Camille picked up her coffee cup, held it, watched Jennifer at the stove. The straight back, the practiced movements, the particular way she tilted her head when she was thinking about something she wasn't saying out loud. 8 years of watching this woman. And only now really seeing her. Camille kept her voice light. "Easy. The voice of a woman making conversation. Do you know Joanna Seaway?" The spatula didn't stop moving. But something happened. Something so small that if Camille hadn't been watching, really watching, she would have missed it completely. Jennifer's left hand, resting on the counter beside the stove, the fingers pressed down, just slightly, just for 1 second, then released. "The name sounds familiar," Jennifer said. Easy, unbothered. "Why?" "Someone mentioned her last night," Camille said. "Before everything happened. I couldn't remember where I'd heard the name before." Probably press, Jennifer said. You know how those circles talk? Probably, Camille agreed. She took a sip of her coffee. Warm. Good. The place 2 streets down that she loved. Jennifer always remembered. Jennifer always remembered everything. She looked frightened, Camille said, quiet, almost to herself. Joanne, last night. She didn't look like a woman who had won something. She looked frightened. Jennifer plated the eggs, turned around, set the plate in front of Camille with a small smile. Frightened or guilty, she said. Sometimes they look the same. Camille looked at the plate. Then up at Jennifer. Yes, she said softly. They do. Jennifer sat across from her, wrapped both hands around her own coffee cup. Looked at Camille with those warm, open eyes. How are you feeling this morning? She asked. Really? Clearer, Camille said. That's good, yes. Camille picked up her fork. I think it is. They ate in the comfortable silence that 8 years builds between 2 people. Easy. Familiar. And Camille ate her eggs and drank her coffee and said the right things at the right moments and laughed softly once at something Jennifer said. And behind all of it, behind every soft word and easy smile, she was filing everything, the finger pressing into the counter. Probably press, frightened or guilty, the way Jennifer had answered without answering, the way she had redirected without redirecting. 8 years of the right words, 8 years of perfect deflection dressed as warmth. She was seeing it now, all of it. Like a room she had lived in for years with the lights off, and someone had finally, quietly, turned them on. Jennifer left at noon. Long hug at the door. Call me if you need anything. Anything at all. I will, Camille said. Promise me. I promise. Jennifer held her face in both hands for a moment. Searched her eyes. Whatever she was looking for, she seemed to find it. She smiled, kissed her cheek, and left. Camille closed the door, stood with her back against it. The apartment quiet again. She looked at the kitchen counter where Jennifer had stood making eggs 20 minutes ago, walked to it slowly, put her hand on the exact spot where Jennifer's fingers had pressed down. Stayed there for a moment. Then she went to her laptop, opened it, typed the company name from the screenshot into the search bar, and began. She wasn't looking for drama. She wasn't looking for confrontation. She was looking for the edges of the thing, the shape of it, how far it went, how long it had been going. The company was registered 18 months ago. 18 months. 4 months before Caden's foundation gala last year. The one where Jennifer had insisted Camille wear that blue dress. The one where Jennifer had introduced her to 3 specific people whose names Camille now typed one by one into the search bar. Each one connected, quietly, carefully, through layers that would look like coincidence to anyone who wasn't sitting here at noon on a Tuesday with a screenshot and 8 years of memories suddenly rearranging themselves into a different picture. Camille sat back, looked at the screen. The shape of it was becoming clear. Not fully, not yet, but clear enough. Jennifer hadn't just betrayed her emotionally. She had built something. Patiently, methodically, over 18 months, she had built something that used Camille's marriage as a door and Joanne as a key in the gala last night as the moment to turn it. The question was, what was behind the door? Camille's phone buzzed. She looked at it. Caden, not a call this time, a message, 3 words. We need to talk. She looked at it for a long moment, put the phone face down, went back to her laptop. Caden Cross could wait. For the first time in 2 years, he could wait. The knock came at 2 p.m. 3 knocks. Not desperate, not loud. The knock of a man who expected the door to open. Camille was at her laptop. She heard it, saved the document, closed the laptop and stood up. She walked to the kitchen, rinsed her coffee cup, dried it, and set it back in the cabinet. Then she walked to the door. She looked through the peephole first. Caden stood in the corridor in a dark coat, hands in his pockets, eyes forward. The particular stillness of a man who was not accustomed to waiting and was choosing patience the way other men chose weapons. She unlocked the door, opened it. They looked at each other, up close. No crowd, no cameras, no 300 people watching. Just the 2 of them in a doorway with everything that had happened sitting in the air between them like weather. His eyes moved over her face. She watched him read her, watched him find something he wasn't expecting. She saw it, the almost imperceptible shift, the slight adjustment behind his eyes. The recalibration of a man who had prepared for one version of this moment and walked into a different one entirely. She wasn't red-eyed. She wasn't shaking. She was wearing a white shirt and her hair was tied back, and she was looking at him the way you look at something you are deciding what to do with. Camille, he said. Caden, a beat. Can I come in? She stepped back from the door. He moved through the apartment the way he always did, like he owned it, which he did. Technically. But something was different today. He kept glancing at her. Small looks, quick, the kind he didn't think she noticed. She noticed everything today. She sat at the kitchen island, didn't offer him coffee, didn't ask him to sit, just sat and waited. He stood across from her, coat still on, hands out of his pockets now, both of them flat on the counter between them. "I owe you an explanation," he said. "You do," she agreed. He looked at her. The calmness was bothering him. She could see it. That particular tension in his jaw that meant something was not going the way he had calculated it would go. "Joanne was introduced to me through a business contact 8 months ago," he said. "The child, I was told it was mine. I had no reason to question it at the time. And now? Now I have questions. What kind of questions?" He studied her face, the kind that suggests this was arranged, he said carefully, deliberately, by someone with access to information they should not have had. Camille looked at him, said nothing, let the silence sit there between them doing its work. Caden's eyes narrowed slightly. "You're very calm," he said. "Am I? You're not going to ask me anything." "I'm listening," she said simply. "Isn't that what you came here for?" He looked at her for a long moment. That look, the one she knew, the one that meant he was recalculating, reassessing, finding new variables in something he thought he had already solved. She had never been a variable to him before. She had always been known, readable, safe in her predictability. Something had changed. He could feel it. She could see him feeling it. Camille. Her phone lit up on the counter between them. She glanced at it. An email notification. She would have ignored it except... Caden's eyes dropped to the screen at the same moment, and everything in him went still, not his regular stillness. Something different, something she had never seen from him before. She looked at the screen. The name in the notification, Adrian Wolfe. She looked up. Caden was already looking at her. His face was doing nothing, which meant everything. "Why?" he said slowly, carefully, each word deliberate. "Is Adrian Wolfe emailing you?" Camille looked at him, then down at the phone, then back up. "I think," she said quietly, "he wants a meeting." The silence that followed was a different kind of silence. Not empty. Full. Full of something Camille didn't have the complete shape of yet, but could feel the edges of. Caden's hands pressed flat on the counter. "How do you know Adrian Wolfe?" "I don't," she said. "Not yet." "Camille, is there something wrong with taking a meeting?" She tilted her head slightly. "You take meetings every day." "He is not." Caden stopped himself. Camille watched him stop himself. Watched him choose his next words with a care she had never seen from him before. Caden Cross, who never measured his words, measuring them now. For her. "He's dangerous," Caden said finally. Camille held his gaze. "I'll keep that in mind," she said, and reached for her phone. The game has started. Subscribe and share this with someone who loves drama like this, because the next part is where everything explodes.